The most expensive movies ever made. The cost for movies has been steadily rising in recent years due to the enormous size of the film industry. After all, breaking records at the box office isn't cheap, and films created especially for the big screen typically have the most extravagant budgets. In this video, we've assembled a list of films with enormous production budgets that, in our opinion, were put to good use. Here are the 10 most costly movies ever made, along with details on how their studios ultimately profited from their investment. Please be aware that the prices have been modified to account for inflation. Additionally, if you could spare a moment, please subscribe to our channel and switch on post notifications. Number 10. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, 2009, $292 million. Although Warner Brothers' willingness to invest the necessary funds to bring the Harry Potter series to the big screen was expected, it is unexpected that Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince was the most expensive installment, given that the combined cost of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2 has also been estimated to be $250 million. Half-Blood Prince's reported production cost of $250 million, or $292 million in today's currency, is extraordinary. However, spending $250 million on this Harry Potter movie was perhaps one of the safest bets Warner Bros. Could have taken, and the results bear this out. The film earned $934 million globally, including $302 million domestically and $632 million internationally. Aside from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 at $1.34 billion and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone at $974 million, Half-Blood Prince has the third highest box office earnings of all the Harry Potter movies. Number 9. Tangled, 2010, $299 million. Who doesn't enjoy a great animated movie? The first princess to be depicted in 3D rather than 2D, Disney's 2010 musical comedy Tangled was a very huge hit with audiences. Disney's Tangled continues to hold the record for being the most costly animated picture ever 12 years after its first release. The animation tops over the runner-up, 2019's adaptation of The Lion King, by a cool $10 million, with a $260 million budget that is not adjusted for inflation, according to Box Office Mojo. The budget was extremely expensive for these three reasons. 1. 6 years were spent making the movie. 2. The production team created from scratch a cutting-edge program to code Rapunzel's hair movement and behavior in water. 3. They combine non-photorealistic representations with computer-generated visuals. Number 8. Justice League, 2017, $307 million. Justice League, the first comprehensive team-up of the DC Extended Universe, was directed by Zack Snyder and had a budget of about $300 million, or $307 if adjusted for inflation. It is commonly known why the cost was so high. Joss Whedon took over to finish the movie after the film's director, Zack Snyder, decided to leave during post-production for personal reasons in May of that year. As a result, in order to change the tone and add scenes near the end of production, Justice League actors had to be rehired for reshoots, and completely new sequences had to be completed in a hurry. In contrast to a break-even figure of $750 million, the movie made over $657 million worldwide, making it a financial disaster for Warner Brothers Pictures and costing them an estimated $60 million. Number 7. Spider-Man 3, 2007, $312 million. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy was completed by Sony with Spider-Man 3 before the studio decided to relaunch and start the Amazing Spider-Man movie franchise. Spider-Man 3 had a production budget of $258 million before inflation, making it Sony's most expensive movie to date and by far the most expensive Spider-Man movie. According to Sony Productions, the film's $258 million production budget was met by its $890.9 million in box office receipts, making Spider-Man 3 the most financially successful of the three installments. Number 6. Titanic, 1997, $312 million. While the industry has gotten used to the idea of a movie's budget being in the hundreds of millions of dollars, this wasn't the case 25 years ago. With a $200 million budget, James Cameron produced Titanic, which went on to become the most expensive film ever in 1997. The figure would actually be closer to $312 million today. The true and authentic views of the Titanic ship in the movie were an element that undoubtedly cost a significant amount of money. In order to film the shipwreck shots, James Cameron and his crew had to descend into the Atlantic Ocean 12 times. The finished product was spectacular and well worth the investment. The movie earned $2.2 billion globally, took home 11 Oscars including Best Picture, and continues to rank among the highest grossing movies of all time. Number 5. Avengers Infinity War 2018, $325 to $400 million. Shot concurrently with Avengers Endgame, Infinity War largely follows the same plot. Or perhaps, Endgame follows Infinity War's lead, since the latter was released a year earlier. This was the highest grossing superhero movie of all time prior to Avengers Endgame. Additionally, it made more than $2 billion at the box office and won Favorite Movie in the 2018 People's Choice Awards. Wikipedia states that the production of Infinity War cost between $325 and $400 million. However, that figure does not account for all of the marketing and other promotional expenses, which could easily push the final cost up by millions. Number 4. Avengers Endgame 2019, $356 million. Avengers Endgame, the highest grossing superhero movie of all time, naturally belongs on this list. The movie Avengers Endgame, which wrapped up the Infinity Saga plot, was highly anticipated, so it makes sense that the figures would reflect that. If you thought that Infinity War's accomplishments were noteworthy, Endgame outperformed them by earning the most money ever from July 2019 to March 2021. The movie made a whopping $2.798 billion globally on a $356 million budget. Number 3. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End 2007, $362 million. By the time the third installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise was released, the series appeared to have lost a lot of its shine among critics, but the movie's box office success didn't support that notion. At World's End ultimately earned $963 million globally, including $309 million domestically and $654 million internationally, surpassing The Curse of the Black Pearl and falling behind Dead Man's Chest and On Stranger Tides. The movie actually holds the third place spot globally among the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Number 2. Avengers Age of Ultron 2015, $386 million. Avengers Age of Ultron, directed by Joss Whedon, is the sequel to his first popular Avengers film. Big-name actors and actresses from the second blockbuster included Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, and Robert Downey Jr. Costs for this Marvel series were increased by computer-generated images and the use of 5 different locations for filming: Bangladesh, England, South Africa, South Korea, and Italy. Aside from the enormous cast and numerous filming locations, the movie's budget was relatively high due to the special effects used in post-production. Since no official record detailing the whole cost of production, including marketing expenses, has been made public, there is some controversy around the total cost of Avengers Age of Ultron. The production of Avengers Age of Ultron is thought to have cost $250 million, according to The Observer. In contrast, Victoria Alonso, Executive Vice President of Physical Production at Marvel Studios, claimed in a conversation with The Hollywood Reporter that the budget is actually upwards of $300 million, and according to Forbes, this was one of the most costly Marvel films with a production budget of $495.2 million. Notwithstanding, the expensive production of the movie eventually paid off, and the movie earned $1.403 billion at the box office worldwide, ranking it as the 12th highest grossing film of all time. Number 1. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, 2011, $422 million. Is it surprising that Disney gets the top spot for the most costly movie of all time, given how the list has developed? The most expensive movie, adjusted for inflation or not, is On Stranger Tides from the Pirates of the Caribbean series. On Stranger Tides is the 4th film in the series, and is the first one to exceed $400 million in budget. The rise in production expenditures was caused by A-list celebrities like Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom, and Keira Knightley, as well as exotic locales and visual effects. For special effects, the production crew used 1,200 production sequences, which are similar to the 3D technology used in Avatar. It was confirmed that the production's overall budget came to $378.5 million. Inflation adjusted, that amounts to about $422 million. Up until this point, no movie has cost more than $400 million, even at today's exchange rates. What are your thoughts on the films on this list? Do you think they were worth their astronomical price, or do you think the quality was lacking? As always, please let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to our channel. Bye for now.